of Empowered Clothing. I'm dedicated to empower women entrepreneurs by sharing tools, tips, and resources through leadership, mindset, and more on my show, Finding Your Way with Sally.
Hi everyone, it's Sally. Yes, it's I. Here I am. I'm a content creator and founder of Empowered Clothing. I share authentic and everyday issues for women over 50. So you can learn more about my fashion products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. So today we're talking about how to take uncomfortable action. We've got health and wellness entrepreneur Tang. So before I bring Shu up, I thought I'd just talk a little bit about my new clothing range, which I'm just launching, the pants. It's all about the creation range. Legs are about moving forward in life. And so with this range, it's made from 100% recycled plastic bottles because, you know, we're talking today about taking uncomfortable action, and that's about moving forward in life. And this is what our legs do for us. So we've got hot pants and long leggings, and you can check it out at empoweredclothing.com.au. So without further ado, let me just introduce our beautiful Shu, who's coming up to meet with us today. So Chu is more than a health and wellness entrepreneur. She is a compassionate advocate for the well-being of busy professionals. She recognising the struggles faced by those who give tirelessly to their work and communities. Chu is dedicated to helping them reclaim control over their health and achieve peak performance. Chu firmly believes that with determination and perseverance, anything is possible. Her message is clear: never give up. As long as there's breath, there's hope. So without further ado, let me just bring up Chu from the green room. It's just going to find you down here somewhere. There we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So here we are. Welcome, Chu. Thank you so much for coming on Finding Your Way with Sally. How's it all going?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So you've had a very amazing career. You've done lots of incredible things, and you've had lots of, an incredible journey with lots of stuff going on in your life. Like, I love that you actually went to New Zealand and worked on, what's the movie called again?
The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, that thing. Before it was even popular, you got into it. And what were you doing there?
I was a shader writer, and basically I wrote program that the artists use to shade the CG elements to make it look photoreal.
Oh, wow. Wow. Fascinating journey. Fascinating journeys. Well, today you've brought along an empowerment share. Be brave to be different and never give up. As long as there's breath, there's hope. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm a middle kid, so I'm very different from the rest of my family, and I get very interested in health because I realize that it's all in our mindset. Yeah, and as long as we're still breathing, there's always a miracle. There's always a chance that the body will want to heal. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, part of your journey has been that you've gone through a couple of things. You in 2000 you had a significant loss, which started your journey. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I took a very huge and comfortable action to move from Los Angeles to Wellington, New Zealand. And within half year, my grandmother died of breast cancer. And I flew back. She was in a coma. I flew back and I saw how the doctor treated her, and it was a big awakening. Very, very invasive treatment. And I told myself that I'll never let that happen to the rest of my family or anybody I care. So that's when I start learning anything I could learn about health and natural healing. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's another, story that was very transformative for you, which was around, was it your uncle or?
Yeah, it was my uncle, right. So that was 2022. So we had a huge reunion after the pandemic. So my niece was getting married. Not so old, but anyway, I have a niece that got married.
Yeah.
and so we have relatives flying from France, from Germany, and Austria, and all that. And then my uncle had a stroke. He was living in Austria at the time. He had a stroke a year before that, and for some reason he couldn't pronounce names, and then his speech was kind of gibberish. So we were all stay in a big Airbnb together. Like there are like 20 of us, And 19 of us witnessed my uncle, not doing very well. So we kind of pretended we understood what he's talking about, but he couldn't call anyone's name, including, my auntie's name. And it just happened that my friend gave me some Lifeway patches. And I didn't think much of it because they look like a Band-Aid, a round Band-Aid. And I said, okay, who wants to try it? And then my uncle said, sure. So I put it on his back. 2 hours later, he called my auntie's name.
That's incredible. Within 2 hours, you put this patch on. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, what is in this
talk or anything? Yeah, he couldn't talk or anything. You put the patch on within 2 hours.
No, he could talk, but very, very, it's just very gibberish. But he couldn't call names at all.
Right.
Yeah. And so ever since then, my life changed.
So I've got the patch up on the screen. So that's the light wave patch.
Yeah. That's the X39. That's exactly the patch that he was using. Yeah, the X39 stem cell activation patch. It doesn't contain stem cell.
Yeah.
It basically is a patch that act like a mirror to reflect our body light to activate a peptide called GHK copper peptide.
Right.
And that peptide activate our own stem cell. Yeah.
Wow, incredible, incredible. So talk to me about, where you've taken uncomfortable action in your life.
So I think my life is pretty much evolved with taking uncomfortable actions. And I come to believe that those uncomfortable actions is what pushed my life forward. Yeah. So one was when I had to leave Cambodia, right? I was born in Cambodia. I had to leave Cambodia. And that was very uncomfortable because I had a perfect, easy childhood, right? Everything was given to me. But then when I moved from Cambodia to Vietnam, I had to learn, a new language. Vietnamese is a completely new language.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we went to a summer school first. So I learned Mandarin when I was in Cambodia. But then when we went to that summer school, everybody there, spoke Cantonese. It's almost uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what they're talking about, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So then that's where I picked up Cantonese, another dialect. Yeah. And then later on, I learned French, and then I learned English. So I fall in love with learning new languages.
Yeah. Well, life is a journey, right? And we're like sponges. We're always learning and absorbing. But I think to move forward in life, like I was relating with my pants, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? You just have to get used to change is putting you out of your own comfort zone.
Yep.
And you've brought along a tip today, and it says success is 80% psychology. Do you want to talk to me?
Yeah. So to me, it's all about your mindset, because I would rather not waste my time worry about that I'm not going to be successful when I try something uncomfortable. I just do it. Yeah. And I often learned that really make things work. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's an inside job, right? It's all an inside job. It's mindset is just key to everything. So I've actually brought an empowerment share along today too, and it's just on top of what I just said. Life is short, so now is the perfect time, just now, to create the life of your dreams, because we are in the driver's seat. So it's up to us to step up and create the change that we choose. But I think the key is to just start doing something, but just to keep it small, simple, small steps, because that makes it sustainable. It reduces the overwhelm. You just chunk it down, but change doesn't happen when you sit on your bum, does it? It's just, you actually have to put some energy into motion. That's absolutely key. I also brought along a tip today: get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's one of my favorite sayings, because that's when real change happens. You have to do things differently. So if you stay the same, nothing changes. You're still on that hamster wheel of the routine of doing things the same way, because the theme today is about getting uncomfortable, but it's because that's when the change happens. But that's where the beauty lies, right? It's just like tap into the unknown possibilities and potential.
Exactly.
And you've done that all of your life from a little girl. How young were you when you had to go from Cambodia to Vietnam?
6 years old. I was 6 years old.
6, right? So your journey really it's giving me goosebumps. So just tuning into, the time that was for you. That was very challenging, right? But, look at your life now and look at your opportunities, going and working on Lord of the Rings and the things that you're doing and getting into all the health stuff that you're into now. And you also have a podcast.
Yes, I do.
Podcast. Yeah, do you want to talk about that? I've been on it and it's actually really fun.
Yeah. So my podcast, I only ask one question, share your transformational moment. And it's sort of inspired by the Pixar short story, because if you guys have ever watched Pixar short story, they're very short, about 3 to 5 minutes, but it tells a really powerful story.
Yeah. No, it was really fun to be on your podcast. So I've got your little contact details here too. So the light wave patches, you're working with that. So it's not stem cells, but it's using the light to activate the cells within the body. Is that right?
Yeah, it's activate a particular peptide that activates the stem cell.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, your story is incredible about your uncle, and incredible after 2 hours of putting that on. And so your business is called, hang on, I think I've got it here, your health and mindset, power your options. And so people can connect with you here at Chu at allhealth.info or at biodose.site/Chu Tang. So one of the things that we do, Chu, on this show is that we do angel card reading. So today I thought I'd do cards. So this is all about just getting some clarity, insight, and direction about, something. You might be at crossroads at somewhere in your life, or just getting some general guidance. Do you do cards at all?
No, I don't. But
okay. Well, let's
get into it before.
So usually I put a question out. What do we need to know today? Please show me the way. So I'm giving it a bit of a shuffle. Let's see which card comes up. Because they're always interesting. So I've got 8 decks of cards, and each deck has its own vibe or energy or flavor to it. So this growth deck sometimes can push us because it can take us out of our comfort zone. So the card I've pulled today, it says, what piece of advice would I like to give myself? So what's the first thing that comes into your head? What's the first thing that comes into your head? What piece of advice would I like to give myself?
Don't give a crap about what people think about me.
Well, there you go. So that's when we do this and you tap in without overthinking it, the first thing that comes to your mind, you're tapping into your subconscious, right? So what piece of advice would I like to give myself? It's just rest, right? You don't have to be doing everything yesterday. And yours, don't give it, don't listen to what other people are saying, basically. Push on. Let's pull another one. Okay, shuffle, because these are really, they just help you. Sometimes they validate what you're thinking inside, or sometimes they give you that little bit of a nudge of going, yeah, you know what? Don't give a damn of what other people say, because that just holds us back. My mantra is let go, step up, and be more. It's let go of other people's opinions and judgments. Life's too short. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. I say that just about every week, and it's so true. And, you don't have to get everything done yesterday. Just you're in the right place at the right time. It's called divine timing, right? So, okay, this is the next card. Oops, it says, what needs to become clear for me? And I think that's just on the back of what we were just talking about, be clear about, we don't need to listen to everybody's, inputs and judgment and criticism, including our own. Let that stuff go, right? And I mean, for me, it's definitely about resting and not doing too much. So what needs to become clear for you, Chu?
I think my priorities.
Your priorities? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because we all in this busy world, 24/7 world, we have this massive to-do list, right? We do, but really 90% of that, does it really matter, And I know, I live down at the beach, and nature is so important to me, and that really helps me connect and let go of the superficial stuff that I used to think that was important. But yeah. Well, Chu, thank you so much for being on our show on Finding Your Way. You're such a delight, and you're just, these patches have been amazing that you're getting into and helping people with that, and just your overall energy and attitude. It's amazing. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Sally. Thank you.
So I'm just going to drop you down, and we'll catch you again soon. So as I said, you can find Chu at allhealth.info, and thank you for, I always find the cards really, really informative. So that was a little Bling Angel Intuitive card reading. So anyway, you can join me for another episode of Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Central, and Thursday at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So until then, again, it is time to get uncomfortable with, to get some energy into motion, get comfortable with just everything that you're doing, because that's where real change happens. So once again, we look forward to catching you next week, and thanks for joining me here on Finding Your Way. Okay, we'll see you later. You can learn more about my services and products at sallyestlin.com. Make sure to join me every week for a new episode on the SWE Media Network YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.